Welcome to this recorded class if you're joining recording, and if you're live, lovely to see you in person on the screen. So start rubbing your hands. Today's class is a gentle release. We're thinking about letting go and creating space to fill the void of what you've released. So just consider that for a moment. You're letting go to create space. And what are you going to place in that space? That's the question. Now, cup your eyes and breathe deeply. Slide your hands lightly down your face. A light sigh outwards. Hands to the thighs. Now, we're going to do some yawning. It sounds really weird, but yawning has been proven to release loads of hormones and settle your nervous system instantly. It's really interesting. They're starting to do scientific research on it. So you're going to make a big fake yawn. So breathe in and start to yawn. And you're trying to lift your head and really open your mouth wide. We're going to do 4 or 5 of these. And I also want you to sigh on the exhalation. You'll start to notice more saliva building in your mouth as well. Keep going. Now, the interesting thing is yawning is contagious, but not with sociopaths. So if you're not yawning, uh-oh. So a nice big breath in, 2 more. And make it up, and then it turns into something. You want to really release. And notice how when you breathe out, there's a letting go. 1 more. Okay. Now notice how you feel. Close your eyes. And feel your seat on the ground. So yawning is the body's natural way to release pent-up energy. If at the end of the day you're feeling really on edge, do some fake yawns. They turn into real yawns, and there will be an immediate shift in your hormonal system. You'll feel more relaxed afterwards. So I'm hoping that you can notice that. And then we're going to move into 3-part breathing. So bring your hands to your tummy. Close your eyes. And breathing through the nose, just starting to practice some slow diaphragmatical breaths. When you practice diaphragmatical breaths, you want to breathe into your hands. And then you want to gently draw the tummy naturally back as you breathe out. So you feel the tummy sinking back naturally. And then on inhale, the tummy expanding into your hands. As you do this, slow it down so it's about 4 or 5 counts in and 4 or 5 counts out. So keep going on your own, beautiful diaphragmatical breaths. And on exhale, there's a sense of letting go. Feel yourself letting go of the air in the lungs, of the tummy towards the spine, of tension in your face and shoulders. Just let it all go. Keep going. We're going to build on that now. So we're going to do belly and ribs as well. So as you breathe in, feel the belly expand, and then feel the rib cage also broaden. When you breathe out, the rib cage draws back into the body. The belly gently pulls back towards the spine. You can use your hands to help if you're struggling. Inhale, the hands can slide apart. Feeling the ribs open. And on exhale, you can encourage the ribs in and the tummy back. So that's now your focus, belly and rib cage breathing. And you're trying to slow the breath down, not thinking so much of the word a deep breath, but a slow, expansive breath. Keep going. With each out breath, letting go. And with each in-breath, creating space. So now we'll move into the full yogic breath. So it's exactly the same, but we keep going up into the chest. And this can be quite difficult for some people. So if you have one hand on your chest and one hand on your tummy, you breathe in, feel the belly expand, feel the ribs open, and then keep going until you feel it in the chest hand. You want to feel the collarbones almost rise and broaden. And then when you exhale, the sternum sinks down, the ribs draw in, and the belly sinks back. This is called full yogic breathing. As you continue with that, once you've got the feel of it, you can release your hands. But if you like having the hands there as a reminder, keep them there. But you're going to keep going with this. Relax into it. Try not make it too forceful. Relax your throat, your shoulders, your face, and let the breath become like a wave. Next time you exhale, sense yourself opening to the energy of release. You don't have to think about what you're letting go of, but there's a sense of, I am ready to surrender, to let go. Then when you inhale slowly and deeply, I am open and receptive. When you exhale, I am ready to release. And when you inhale, I am open and receptive. For the last few rounds, the hands float down through the thighs if they're not already there. And you bring your hands into Prana Mudra, so the thumb tips touch the little finger and the ring fingertips. The peace sign fingers are together. This is your Prana Mudra. You continue with the deep yogic breath. And on the exhale, there's that focus of I surrender. And on the inhale, I am open. And this mudra is it sort of helps to really harness that energy. It supports that energy. It's drawing that energy towards you. So 3 more rounds. As you finish that final round, let your breath return to normal and notice the effect of the full yogic breathing on your body and on your mind. So now to a restorative pose. We're going to do legs up something. Not everyone has a big open space like I do for my legs. You might have lots of things on your wall. So then legs up sofa, legs over dining room chair, legs over bed, legs up headboard of bed, body on bed. So whatever you want to do, but the legs are up. They can be up and straight or they can be up and bent, depending on what you have equipment-wise. Take your bolster or cushion with you, because we want a small lift under the sacrum. So I'm actually not going to do legs up wall because I want to be able to see the screen. So I'm doing legs up chair. I've got this low-lying stool here. And make sure that whatever you put your legs up, you want your lower parts of your back as close to either the wall or the chair as possible. You then sweep your legs. Oops, Siri's talking to me. You then fling your legs up the wall or over your chair. Once you're there, get a cushion underneath your lower back. So bend your knees, push against the wall of the chair, lift your seat. So your hips are higher than your shoulders and your legs are higher than your hips. You could also do legs floating in the air if you aren't using a wall, but we are here for 5 minutes. So whatever you choose, make sure that you feel comfortable for this 5-minute process. Maybe you close your eyes and cover your eyes. Maybe you use a blanket to support you. But settle in as soon as you can. My chair is way too low for me. Draw the shoulders back behind you and make sure the chin is lightly tucked in. And once you've settled in, become aware of the contact that your body is making to the chair, the wall, the bolster, and the ground. And begin to surrender the weight of the body parts that are touching down heavily into the ground. There's a feeling here of letting go. And when you have your legs higher than your heart, you increase the energy of a Prana, which is the energy of letting go. So really feel now the weight of your legs sinking into the pelvic bowl, into the wall or into the chair. Feel the weight of your sacrum dropping into the bolster or cushion. Feel the weight of your back and shoulders relaxing and dropping heavily into the ground. Sense the weight of your hands and wrists sinking back. Feel the weight of your arms relaxing. And sense the weight of your head, heavy, relaxing. Let your breath flow in a natural, calm way. There's no effort with the breath. Sensing yourself opening up to the energy of release. This is known as the Apana Vayu, the downward flowing wind of release. You don't need to think about what you are releasing from, but you can open yourself to that energy of surrender and of letting go. Each time you notice a little grip of tension creeping back into your body somewhere, let yourself notice it and then allow it to drop away. The more you release, the freer and the softer the breath becomes. What you're doing here is calming your own nervous system and resetting yourself back to a quieter place in your mind. Your 5 minutes are now up. When you release from your pose, try not rush. So slowly, wherever you are, bend your knees and roll to your side. Pause for a moment on your side. Let everything settle. And then come up back into sitting, where we will do another breath practice. So this breath practice is one that focuses on the exhalation more than the inhalation. Remember, if sitting on the ground doesn't work for you, a chair is absolutely fine. I'd rather you be comfortable so you don't feel like you're just focusing on the body, and then you can really work on your breath. This time, the mudra is just jnana mudra, so thumb tip to index fingertip. Your heart lifts, your shoulders relax. If you're happy to, close your eyes. Otherwise, keep them focused on one unmoving point. Ujjayi breath, the little squeezed throat. As you inhale, you feel the squeeze is making the breath slower because it takes longer to fill your lungs. And the same on the exhalation. So the Ujjayi gives you a little bit more control, but it also creates a vibration which calms your mind. Take about a minute to find a nice fluid pace, roughly the same in-breath and out-breath. Now we'll focus more on the exhale. Slowly expand the inhalation. On the exhale, let the exhale be as long and slow as it can. And then when you finish the exhale, even though you're not breathing because you'll pause, you're still imagining you're breathing out. So you're not breathing out, but the energy still feels like you are. Then you inhale slowly and deeply. When you exhale, feel the breath release, awareness sinking down. Then when you pause and hold the breath, awareness keeps sinking down, even though you're no longer breathing. Then you inhale again. So this is your practice. You can think of it like the rain. It lands on the ground, but it doesn't just sit there. Over time, it starts to sink and seep into the earth, and then it feeds the roots deeper down. So you're exhaling and completing the out-breath. The energy is moving down. But then when the exhale ends, before you breathe in, just let that energy seep down, 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 nourishing the roots of who you are. You hold for as long as is comfortable, because that hold is nourishing you. And then when you realize now is time to breathe, you then breathe in, buoyantly lifting back up again. And there's that exhale, releasing, slowly letting go. Then there's no air left, but the energy still keeps going. There's still the letting go that's sinking down, down, down. So you keep going with this for a few more minutes. As you do this, don't worry too much about what am I trying to let go of? Because if you're anything like me, you might have lots of things and you can't choose. Instead, you're simply thinking about, I surrender that which no longer serves me well. And you really have a great intent with that. I surrender that which no longer serves me well. So each time there's that exhaling and that sinking down into the very earth, those words that you might say every third or fourth go are really nourishing the roots of who you are. Couple more minutes. What you want to feel during the hold is a relaxed feeling rather than gripping the holding of the breath. Because even though you're no longer breathing, it still feels like you are. So it's quite relaxed. There's that sinking down feeling. You're connecting with your apana vayu, which is the energy of letting go. One more minute. This is your final exhalation now. You let the breath settle. And you notice how you feel. So looking at the time, we're only going to do one more pose, and that's going to be a chest opener, followed by one more breath practice, which is an increase in the inhalation. And this is the Supta Baddha Konasana, the bound angle pose. Now, I like to do it with a little bit of support from, say, a chair. So if you have a chair nearby, you don't have to do it. What you could do actually is a cushion underneath your bolster. So you're creating an incline for your bolster. So I'm going to create my incline here, like this. And then you are going to need to get a couple more cushions for your knees, and you need a blanket to keep you nice and snuggly. So run around or walk around mindfully and get yourself some cushions or blankets. Always have everything ready anyway, because you never know what I'm going to throw at you. Your cushions or blankets are supporting your knees, and your inclined cushioning thingy, if you've got bean bags, they're fantastic as well. You can use those. Where are the bean bags? We used to have them in the 70s and 80s. So good for yoga. So the restorative angle is soles of the feet together, outer thighs supported by blankets or cushions. The bolster thingy that you've created, the incline, you lean against. It's a bit like a sunbed. If your head has this tendency to roll back, you can use either a little blanket or another cushion to make sure it doesn't. And then maybe cover yourself up. We're going to do 5 minutes once you're set up. Make sure that you physically adjust your shoulders. So once you're in the position, you hold on to the ground and push into your hands to lift your shoulders off the bolster, squeeze them back behind you. So suddenly your chest opens wider, and then relax the shoulders down, and then let the arms open. So there's a more open experience through your chest. Maybe cover your eyes with a thin cloth or eye pillow. Final adjustments now. And then your 5 minutes begins. Close your eyes. The energetic quality of this compared to the legs up is of drawing inward and upward. So we're working now with the Prana Vayu. This is the energy of taking in. It's being open and receptive. So we're open to receiving insights and higher wisdom. We're open to receiving that which we know serves us well. So this is the thought here, opening your hearts to that which is for your highest good. Then relax fully into your cushions and blankets. Let your body be completely at ease here. Sensing the energy of receptivity. Remembering that the habits we have, the habits that don't serve us, we become aligned to those things. So we reach out for the parts that no longer serve us just because they feel comfortable. So here instead, open yourself up maybe to something different, but something that supports you well. So I am open and receptive is your thoughts, your intention, your affirmation. And relax into it. How does it feel to be open? To be ready to receive that which serves you well. How does that make you feel? Now, every now and again, allow your breath to take a full releasing breath. Maybe every third or fourth breath, you take a long breath in through your nose and then sigh out with a sound through your mouth. Or a yawn. You can also yawn out every fourth or fifth breath as a full, complete release, freeing up the space so that you are more open, more receptive. Notice any grip of tension dropping away. And sometimes it doesn't drop away. Sometimes the tension is so deeply embedded that you have to consciously see it and then consciously release it. Feel the energy of this pose as being open and receptive. When we do restorative poses, it's like a reset for the nervous system. And if we're used to being on the go all the time, it can feel a little dull. The mind gets distracted. So this is normal. If that happens to you, keep reminding your mind why you're doing it. You're resetting the nervous system. You're bringing yourself back into a place of calm ease. So one more breath here and the 5 minutes is up. Then you draw the legs together. You gently roll off your cushioning and you sit back up. And if you wanted to do some of these restoratives without the recordings, you can, you could do a pose like that for 20 minutes if you're warm enough. Play some nice music, set your timer, and just really enjoy it. One more pranayama. Palms face upwards, heart lifts, shoulders slide back, back of the neck is long. Prana Mudra again, so thumb tips touch the little finger and the ring finger. The peace sign fingers are lightly together. The focus will turn to the inhalation. But before it does, let's practice the gentle Ujjayi breathing, getting back into a nice balanced pattern of breath, which is slow and mindful. Remember, the Ujjayi is the light squeeze throat. If any time, anyone, whether you're on the recording or with me live stream, if you don't understand a particular pose or practice, just let me know and I can always see you after a session and work with you to help support you in that way. So keep going with the Ujjayi breath with a light squeezed throat. Because you're fairly relaxed, you'll find that you get into a nice balanced pace fairly quickly. And now you focus on the inhalation. So this time, the same process. You're going to inhale slowly and expand your lungs as much as you can. Then when you can't breathe anymore, you hold your breath, but you feel this experience of drawing in and the energy lifting up. So when we draw energy that supports us, it lifts our energy. So you're breathing in, you feel an uplift of energy. When the breath is full, you keep moving the energy up beyond the crown. And then you exhale and release. So it's exactly the same process as what we did with the out breath, but now it's with the in breath. So this is about touching into that energy, which is open and receptive, but it's also uplifting and spacious. So holding for as long as you can. But the key is it's not like you're gripping and shutting down the energy. As you hold the breath, you're still feeling the inward and upward thrust of prana vayu. And during the hold, as you experience that continual energetic footprint of the prana vayu, your vibe is, I am open and receptive. My heart is open as wide as the sky to receive all that supports me well. So that's your intention during your holding. You don't have to know what it is that you're taking in. You're just saying to the universe, I am open to receive that which serves me well. And sometimes when your mind is super calm, you feel like you can hold your breath for ages and it doesn't feel like you're holding your breath. So final 2 minutes. Each practice has been 5 minutes. Remember on the out breath to empty the lungs fully. And then on that inhale, there's that soft drawing inward and expanding and rising. So what we're taking in lifts us in our lives. We want to make sure that what we take in supports and lifts us, rather than taking in something that makes us feel heavy and weakens us. So really sense that energy on that after the inhalation is that beautiful supporting, but it's uplifting you. 2 more rounds. As you finish that final round, you just bring your hands in prayer to honor the process of letting go and of opening up. So we're letting go to let in. They cannot happen without one another. If you let go of something, you have to let in something else. If you're letting in something, if you're taking on something, you have to let go of something. So as you bring your hands together, just honor that practice of letting go to let in. Namaste.